And so this book is one of those books that I ordered. I got this one this past December. And this is Encountering Palestine: Unmaking Spaces of Colonial Violence. And this is also an edited anthology, edited by Mark Griffiths and Mikko Joronen. And we can see an image of one aspect of the walls in Palestine in a shadow of a tree, maybe an olive tree, I'm not sure. And this is what the binding looks like. And you can see here, published by the University of Nebraska. And on the back, we can see Mark and Mikko, the two editors. And an anthology means that instead of Mark and Mikko being the main authors and having this be their, like all of this is their writing, an anthology means they might have some contributions of the chapters, but they also have a collection of other authors who are in this book that aren't Mikko or Mark. But Mikko and Mark curated them and edited those chapters and put them together in this anthology. And I love this. It's so soft, and it's like it's kind of between the sticky covers but also matte like feeling. It's really nice. And both of these scholars are not Palestinian authors, but they study Palestinian studies, and they're based in the UK and Scandinavia. And the authors are global scholars, including Palestinian scholars. And this is where I am. So not very far. I just started this the other day. And the categories that this book falls under are geography, political science, international relations, and Middle East. And it's quite powerful already, of course. And this was published in 2023, so this was published prior to the current genocide that's happening in Palestine. So it's interesting to read a book about Palestine that was published right before the horrific events that are happening, just to get further context about the historical happenings. And so on the back it says, Encountering Palestine: Unmaking Spaces of Colonial Violence, edited by Mark Griffiths and Mikko Joronen, sits at the intersection of cultural and political geographies and offers innovative reflections on power, colonialism, and anti-colonialism in contemporary Palestine and Israel. Organized around the theme of encountering and focusing on the ways violence and struggle are un/made in the encounter between the colonizer and colonized, the essays focus on power relations as they manifest in cultural practices and everyday lives in anti/colonial Palestine. I'm really excited to continue reading this, and I'm in the third chapter, but the second main contribution so far. And I don't know that they have any sections. Let me check the table of contents. No, but there's 10 major chapters in this. Okay. Encountering Palestine. And now, the fourth book is the quote-unquote fiction book that I'm reading, although it is a memoir. And I guess we could count the Kwame Alexander text, but I'm taking that one slowly. I'm not trying to read that all at once. This is an advanced reader copy of a book that is not yet published, but I have access to these books from a special place. And so I have this advanced reader's copy of a book that is scheduled to be published on September 2nd, 2025, which won't be too far away from when I publish this video. And you can pre-order this book, I'm sure, and you can find information on this book on the internet, so the book itself is not secret, and I'll double check before I post this, but it's Arundhati Roy's first memoir. Mother Mary Comes to Me, and this is a portrait of young Arundhati Roy. It's so light and gentle, the sound. And the paper quality is much different because it's an advanced reader copy, which means there's likely not going to be any changes to the content of this book before it gets published, but there are some uncorrected, like, grammatical mistakes or things that when they put the text into the formatting for the publisher, there was just like some grammatical or like punctuation mark inaccuracies that will be changed for the publishing. There might be changes to the content of the book, but not likely. And when I saw this book, I was very excited to have the opportunity to read it. I actually haven't read her work, but I have listened to her speak in podcasts, and I'm familiar with her work. So, for example, I think she's most known for her novel, her first novel, God of Small Things, or The God of Small Things. I'm quite far into the book. I only have about 100 more pages left. And this book, one of the reasons I was excited is because of Arundhati Roy, but also I also do not have a very loving, well, I have a less than ideal and had a less than ideal relationship with my mother, and that is something that Arundhati reveals in this memoir. And so the publisher will be Scribner, a well-known publisher. And you can see, or on the cover in the binding, it tells you the date of publication, which is September 9th, 2025. And it says Advanced Reader's Edition, but the book will be on sale September 9th. And so this is called either an Advanced Reader's Edition or an uncorrected, not for sale, uncorrected proof, not for sale, or quotation, because things can change, and you can see, or this is printed in very small print on the binding. I'm not going to say more about it because this is not yet published, but it soon will be once September comes around. I guess I can just read a little bit from the praise, the advanced praise, because I'm sure this is promotional material that's already out there. Oh, you can kind of see through. And here's Scribner's logo right on the first page. It says, Mother Mary Comes to Me, Arundhati Roy's first work of memoir, is a soaring account, both intimate and inspirational, of how the author became the person and the writer she is, shaped by circumstance, but above all, by her complex relationship to the extraordinary, singular mother she describes as, quote, my shelter and my storm. So stay tuned for this book about to be published very, very soon. I'll be curious to see if the cover is the same or different, if this image of a moth remains or changes. That was a loud beep outside, I apologize. Yeah, that's all I can say, but thank you. Happy reading, everyone.